All right, good morning. Thank you for attending. I know it's early and the party was last night, and I saw how you guys party, so I'm surprised any of you are here. But I don't know, you have a 1 in 50 chance in winning an Xbox. I don't know if that's why you're here, but it was mentioned in an earlier session that if you come to this and you submit an eval, that you will get a chance at an Xbox. So if you're interested in that, the higher you score, the more votes you get. So, just kidding. Anyway, so the session objectives and takeaways for today. We're talking about Opalis integration server. If that's not what you're here for, well, you could hang out until breakfast, I guess. So we're here to gain a greater understanding of the Opalis integration server and its primary uses. We're going to recognize where Opalis fits within the System Center and various features within the offering. We're going to recognize common use cases for Opalis, as well as identify and qualify opportunities where Opalis can help, well, that needs to be updated, but where it can help you create the data center of the future. Again, this is session SVR 312. My name is Charles Joy. I'm a tech evangelist for solutions architecture for the System Center suite of products. I am from the United States. I live in San Antonio, Texas. I'm not from the Redmond, but I do work for Microsoft, and I am part of engineering, and I originally came from Opalis, so I can answer all your Opalis questions after the session, either outside or in the question answering area. So who here knows what Opalis is? All right, a couple of you, that's good. One of the things that people always ask us at the booths and the different trade shows that we go to is how to pronounce it. In my accent, my strange accent, you pronounce it Opalis. So very simple, Opalis. What is it? Well, it's the newest member of the Microsoft System Center suite, providing automation, orchestration, and integration for IT management tools in the data center. It's also the best way to integrate, orchestrate, and automate your data center. Again, that's my opinion. So I don't know if you've seen this slide or something similar earlier in the week, but this is basically a wheel of different products that Microsoft has to offer in the System Center suite. So Service Manager, Config Manager, Virtual Machine Manager, Operations Manager, and Data Protection Manager. But you don't see Opalis in there, do you? Well, there it is, the rising sun. And we'll slide right in there behind all of those, fill in the cracks, and then along the outer ring as to symbolize that we're bringing everything together with automation, orchestration, and integration. You're going to notice that I say those three words quite a bit, and if we had a contest, I'd probably ask you that as a question, but we're not going to have a contest, so you don't have to remember it. So this may be all fine and dandy. We have all the System Center products all linked together with Opalis. But how many of you only have System Center products? Almost everyone. Excellent. So we have, that doesn't really matter for Opalis, whether you have all System Center products or if we magically swap out Operations Manager for HPLVO or Service Manager for Remedy. It doesn't matter to Opalis. Opalis will continue to do what it's doing regardless of the products in the outer ring. And by no means am I telling you that you should swap those products out or not have Microsoft products. I'm telling you that Opalis doesn't care. We are still the leader in heterogeneous data center integration, automation, and orchestration. One of the reasons Microsoft bought Opalis or acquired it in December. So what does Opalis do? Well, Opalis provides IT process automation, ITPA, or also known as runbook automation, RBA, which is the ability to orchestrate and integrate IT management tools through workflows. Now, everything has a workflow nowadays. SharePoint has a workflow. Remedy has a workflow. Service Manager, everything has a workflow. So what does that mean for Opalis? Well, in Opalis, it is a workflow engine. All you do is create workflows. So when we get into the product demonstration, you're going to actually see objects that are linked together, and each one of those objects perform a separate action. And those actions are the part of your process. So all those actions become a larger process and an automated process that will integrate and then obviously orchestrate your management tools. So what does it do for you? Well, it helps you meet strategic IT goals through improved service delivery. It replaces many manual, resource-intensive, and error-prone activities, as well as typically crosses multiple IT components, disciplines, and silos. So how are some customers using Opalis today? Well, I couldn't fit all the possible uses on this page, but the three main solution areas are incident management, virtual machine lifecycle management, and change configuration management. Now, in incident management, many of you probably have some ITIL or MOV initiatives. So what we're talking about with incident management is the ability to take an incident end to end. So operations manager or your OVO or your patrol can be monitoring your infrastructure, and then we can automatically cut a ticket based on alerts that come from there. And then not only do we cut the ticket, but then we could work the ticket so we could remediate what's wrong, close the ticket, and close the alert. So it's end-to-end incident triage and incident management. For virtual lifecycle management, we're talking about your provisioning and deprovisioning of virtual machines or physical machines. It depends on what tasks you want to automate. And you could utilize VMM, VMware, or PowerShell, or whatever you might want to do those virtual machine lifecycle management, or bare metal lifecycle management. And then finally, change configuration management. This could hook into your existing change systems, change processes, and utilize Config Manager maybe, Virtual Machine Manager maybe, or one of your other change tools. And we just hook in and automate the processes that are automatable. Now, obviously, not everything's automatable, but a good portion is, and Opalis could certainly handle that. So what are other use cases for the data center? Well, here's a list of them here. Again, this is not a conclusive list, but if we take a look, virtual lifecycle management's up there still. Some interesting ones, user and service provisioning. One of our large virtualization customers use Opalis to onboard and offboard their employees. They had something like 100 a week, and it took a long time to do it manually. So we went in there with Opalis, and we're able to provision a user end to end. Their mailbox, their accounts, their shared drive, all that stuff can all be done in a set of Opalis workflows. Closed loop compliance, it goes along with that change config. So if you notice something during an audit or that automatically knows it's something that is out of compliance, it can remediate it and then check for compliance again, closing the loop. Data refresh and publication is one that's near and dear to my heart. I did a implementation for a online phone book company in the U.S., and Opalis keeps, I should say, the data up to date on a daily basis or whenever they decide to run it with the most recent .com data. So if someone says, I have a new address for Tony's Pizza in Philadelphia, then that's up to date using an Opalis process. So the people who buy space on the website or advertisement, enter it in one system, that gets collected. Opalis picks it up from there using a myriad of different tools that they had, homegrown tools. And then we take down half the website, refresh it, take down the other half, refresh, bring everything back up, and keep that data up to date so everything is current. And before Opalis, that took 5 guys about, they could do it twice a week. Now we could do it twice a day if they wanted to. And the good part about it is they could bill as often as the data is current. So you can imagine how that was a win for them. They could bill every day as opposed to twice a week. Some other interesting ones up here. They're all fairly interesting. The ITIL facilitation, anything you could think of with ITIL. Because ITIL is all about consistency and reliability and process and execution. So Opalis that's what it is to its core. And as far as the RBA task automation is concerned, we have a lot of MSPs, the Accentures, the Fujitsu, CSCs of the world, using Opalis for server maintenance, OS maintenance, file maintenance. And this is really for either proactive, like going out and looking for issues, or reactive, remediating issues that's already occurred. So this next slide just depicts what you already know. Your infrastructure is probably broken up into silos, whether they're physical or theoretical. But you have event management tasks, service desk tasks, asset CMDB tasks, and you may have different people doing those. And that's all fine and good as long as everyone does their own job and they don't get in each other's way. But we have a lot of processes nowadays that cross those silos. So many people have to talk to each other, rely on each other, rely on different tools. So there's a lot of chance for human error and latency. And the reason I bring this up is because, when we're getting to more complex things like cloud computing or virtual service management, you want to remove as much of that latency and error as possible. So you could do that using an Opalis workflow. Now, those of you who've seen the console, this is somewhat of I call it a marketing snapshot of a workflow. The lines don't exactly look like that, but the concept is the same. We have objects that could span all of those silos, and then the links between those objects, which are just like objects, just formatted as a link, a line, are able to transmit the data from object to object without coding or scripting, without any extra effort. The data just flows from object to object so you can perform the different tasks in the different silos, breaking down those barriers and automating those processes. And the next thing I'm going to do for you is show you the next 3 slides are basically a video on a before scenario. Then I'm going to give you a demonstration on how actually easy it is. And then they're going to do an after scenario based on that first before video. So it's a before and after sort of reveal sort of thing with a demo in between. Now this before video, it's about 10 minutes long, I believe, and it depicts how painful it can be in a data center when maybe you don't have the most competent help desk person, or there's just a lot of processes. So sit back, relax on this Wednesday morning while we take a look, hopefully, at the manual incident management before video.
Okay, let's see here. We got this one, and then this. Oh man! Oh, 100%. Oh hey, sorry, didn't see you guys there. Yeah, I heard you were coming over to the help desk today. Hang on, let me close this down. Sorry, sometimes the help desk gets a little boring, so I was working in an incident of a different sort there. Anyway, I probably should be watching my operations manager console here in case any alerts come in, because I heard you guys wanted to see how we work them here at the help desk. So anyway, welcome to the help desk, and this is what it's like. We wait for our eyeballs to dry out, and oh look, an alert just came in. Isn't that coincidental? I suppose I should work on it since you guys are here. Let me have a look at what's going on. So we've got web service unresponsive on Southfield web server. Southfield, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. Okay, let me let's see. I think the process says I'm supposed to assign it to myself. Better follow the process while you guys are watching. See if I can find myself there. Yeah, there I am. Don't know what the ticket ID is just yet, but probably need to go and create a ticket for it. Okay, well, let's switch over to the trouble ticketing system here. And let's see, I need to create a new incident. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, you didn't see that? Did not see that. I am way down at the bottom for some reason. I don't think they like me. So let's create a new incident here. Okay, so I need to get the summary, which was server down. You know what? Let me just go back and copy that. It sounds like a better idea. So here's server unresponsive 22. Yep, got that. Let's copy that and put it into here. And the description is going to be web server is hung. Oops, hung on 22. Again. All right. So probably just close this out. They made some changes to the trouble ticketing system, so I actually have to fill in all the blanks now, which doesn't speed up anything, let me tell you. Software issue here. The type is going to be internet, because that's our web server. And that would be our web server. Look at that. Okay, cool. Priority. So 22 is a big deal. Probably shouldn't dilly-dally too much here. I know it's critical. And the severity, I don't think it's urgent. I think it's high. You know, if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will correct me on that. This is obviously going to be an incident. So let me click incident there. And I'm just going to go ahead and assign it to myself. So the status is going to be new. And the source was over the network. Got that from the ops manager. And the site was, well, Southfield, wasn't it? Yes, Southfield. Okay, so I think that's all I need to do to make that happen. And there's the new ticket here. Let's have a look. Oh man, when are they going to fix this app? Gosh, you'd think there'd be a better service desk out there, I tell you. So let's see here. Web services have become unresponsive. That's what we got. So this is incident 27. Let me copy that. And go back to the Ops Manager console here. And I think I'm supposed to put that into the other properties here. Copy, paste. Really? Oh, sorry, guys. Really embarrassing. Let me go back here. Try this again. Copy. Sometimes I find if I smash on the keys really hard, that works better. Paste. Look at that, it worked a lot better. Fantastic. I think I can change the state here to incident created as well. All right, cool. I'm following the process. We're doing all right. I haven't done much to solve the problem, but following the process. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. Updated. Add that comment there. And this is working now, so we're going to activate this. Update that. Cool. All right. Now, what do we do next? I know the answer. Let me think for a second. You know what? Maybe it's not really broken. Probably optimistic on my part. But let me see here if I could just go back and maybe access it. 192.168.0.22. Hey, look, there it is. 2315. Don't even have to remember the port. And, oh, it's the sad web page. Okay, so I guess that didn't do the trick. Shoot. I guess I can update the ticket with that. Not really much else to say. Confirmed web server is, in fact, down. Look at that nice grammar. All right. Perfect. Okay, yeah, I don't know what else to do at this point, so I'm going to, I'm going to have to call for some help here. So let me switch back and see if I can find our man in the data center, Charles. He's the man. He knows what's going on here. I need to bug him a little bit. So my dog versus his cat should be a good one. Let's see here. Hey, you know what? I don't have time for that. I'm just going to bug him. Sorry, need to bug you. Having an issue in Southfield. Sigh. I know, I feel the same way. Wonder what that cat's looking at. Something out this. Which server? Oh, sorry. Pay attention here. Web server. Duh. Oh, you know, he probably means which one? 22. It's hung. Kill web services session. Okay. Oh, wow. Nice. Oh. I did that like once. Man, that was not called for. Let's see. What else? Got more to say here. Oh, nice. Let's see here. What else? Typing, and okay, yep, restart with the script, that makes sense. And alright, so I think I know what I need to do here. I'm not sure what else we've got. Charles, give him a second here. Okay. Close that out. So, I guess I need to RDP over. Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, look. That's just not called for. Ouch. All right. All right, so this was, it was 22, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Let me log in here. Let me log in more slowly. Okay, cool. Some pop-ups here. Look at all these pop-ups. All right. There's the web service I want to kill, so I'm just going to kill that. And, okay, Charles is done. So, great. So from here, now I'm going to go ahead and, he said to restart the service. I killed it. I know there's the troubleshooting thing, and, oh, right. You didn't see that. Ignore that. Right. Sorry. Go delete the log files. So, www.root. So, our log files, here they are. So, instead of get rid of the lock files, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those so that we can restart this thing. And I did just delete the lock files, didn't I? Oh, well, probably that's all it was. I don't think they're important anyway. So, with that, I guess we can go back here and restart the script. Yeah, got that done. Cool. So 182, 160, 0. Oh, nope, that's not right. Kill it. Sorry, everyone. It's just opening night jitters, as they say. Oh, hang on, I got another message from Charles here. Trying to restart it now. Yeah, sorry, let's hear, edit. Just run, just go, do your thing, go. .0.22, okay, got it that time. Alright. Oh, Lord, please don't have Ed call me. We don't need that right now. All right, so anyway, it looks like it's starting up. Is this my mother-in-law? No, it's Ed. All right, sorry, everyone. Just give me a second here. Hey, Ed. Yeah, no, I know. I'm working it right now. It's literally in the process of restarting. I'm not kidding you. No, I know. Exactly. No, it's literally in the process of restarting. Look, you want to talk about it? Because we can talk about it. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it, or you want me to work on it? Let me work on it, okay? How about you watch the ticket and I work on it, all right? All right, so let's you keep an eye on that ticket, and if it doesn't get fixed soon, then you call me back, all right? So let me work on it. Okay, see you. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, everyone. Looks like, anyway, this worked. Looks like I started in 22 seconds. A good time, so that's nice. I'm going to close out of there. Let's make sure that it's fixed, shall we? Let's refresh there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Nice. Looks like it's back up and running. All right. Cool stuff. All right, so that'll make Ed happy. Let's go in there. Yeah, I know it's broken. They're never going to fix it. So let's see. We want to take this from active to resolved, I think. That sounds like a good idea. And this was fixed. I don't know why I can't just close it. Going to update it first with resolved. I probably should put in what we did. So we killed, hung, new session. Yep. Let's see, what else did we do? We deleted log file. Well, actually, no, lock files. Well, maybe I deleted a log file. That's our little secret. Restarted script. Okay, it came up anyway. I told you it wasn't important. Look at that. So look at that. So I think we're good. Probably should have had more data in there, but Ed wanted it fixed. He didn't want me chatting about it. So let's just save and close that. Should have gone away now. Yep, there it goes. And let's see what other. Well, I think we're cool there. Let me see what other incidents I've got. I don't know if these are of interest to any of you people, but let's see here. So let's see what 24 was. Someone assigned me something new. The fridge is out of. Oh, really, guys? No, it's not my week to buy. It's not. No, I did it last week. I mean, look at this ticket. You didn't even categorize it right. Gosh. Sorry, everyone. Anyway, I guess I'll get right on this incident. And thanks for coming by. We'll maybe see you again in the future here at some point. Okay, take care, everyone.
All right. Well, I know that was long, and painful, but we wanted to get the point across that having no automation is long and painful. I think we accomplished that. Now what I'm going to do is show you how easy it is to create a workflow that will satisfy that requirement, what he just did there. So very quickly, this is the Opalis client. Nothing special there. It's just a designer client. And I'm just going to create a new workflow. I'll just rename it to and we're just going to start working on the first thing we're actually going to do is take it a step further. So we don't want to just use the script every time. We're actually going to have, as soon as the alert comes into Operations Manager, we're going to go ahead and kick off the Opalis workflow. So we can monitor Operations Manager, monitor for an alert, choose the connection, and then we want to filter on something. In this demonstration, I'm just going to filter on owner equals Opalis. And I could add more filters in there if you want. Even some filters, resolution state, for example, dynamically query what you have available, and you can filter on that. So even if you've customized it, you can do that. So what did he do? As soon as he got the alert, he went ahead and, well, he checked to see if the web page was actually down. So why don't we do that? So let's get Internet Application Status. Just link the objects together, open this guy up, and we fill out a form. See, there's no coding or scripting. I'm not writing any code or script. And I could even make a dynamic, so this could deal with any website that's down. And I could use the data bus that we really haven't talked about yet, but it's the ability to get the data from one object to the next. So I'm going to do publish data. I happen to know for this demonstration it's in custom field 2. Port is 2315. And we're going to look for something that's normally on the page when it's up. So like login. Finish. After this, if it's down, we want to remediate. If it's not down, we don't care. We could do a false positive thing, but it's not that important. But the first thing we want to do is delete those lock files, and just the lock files. And we could do that by using the delete file object. And of course, we don't want this to go every time and delete files and remediate, so the links actually have filters built in. So I could say, if Internet Application Status returns warning or failed, then move forward. I could even make it more cosmetically friendly here. So we know. So it's self-documenting as well. So now I can make the path actually dynamic, or I can hard-code it, so I could go choose the file where I'm looking for. Or I believe I still have, that's not what I wanted. I believe I still have in here, yep, there they are. I'm going to actually cheat in the interest of time. I'm just going to paste this in here, so I'm going to expand so you can see it a little better maybe. And that CF2 is my placeholder where I'm going to put that dynamic data, so subscribe publish data from the first object. You see I have access to all the objects downstream, so there's two. I'm on the third object, so there's 2 available. And custom field 2. And that looks correct. Oh, and we want star.lck, not anything else. So that will always delete the lock files and nothing else. The next thing we want to do is run that batch file that he had. So we have an object that will run any command line. And we have another one, if you're interested in non-Windows commands, we have a SSH object as well. So I'm just linking them up. Command execution, I'm going to do publish data. Again, you see I have access to all the data, and I'm not doing anything complex here. I'm just pointing and clicking, like filling out an Outlook rule. And the command, again, I have here, so I don't screw it up. And we're going to put custom field 2 there again. All right, I believe that's good. After this, we want to test it again. So we'll go ahead and copy, paste. And you can see I didn't need to change anything, so I just brought everything over. So the objects are copy pastable. And then after it's up, why don't we go ahead excuse me, and close the alert. So back down here. So we could close the loop on this, update that alert, link them up, open her up, choose the connection. And this ID field is the ID of the alert, so we've got to make sure and go back and get that. So publish data, all the way back at the monitor alert, and we're going to go get the ID, which is the unique identifier for the alert. We want to make sure we're updating the right alert. And then we're going to select the resolution state, and we want it to be closed. And hit finish. And essentially, that workflow will do what he did, except not the ticketing system. I'm going to get into the ticketing system when I go into the other part of the demonstration. So because I'm brave, and I think this will probably work because I went slow enough to do it, I'm going to go ahead and start this up and see if it'll actually work for you. It should. I don't think I made any mistakes, but we'll see. What's that? Stop the service? Oh, that's basically for the video. But yes, I could build that in here. But yes, my demonstration normally doesn't cover that. But I could put another object in there to kill the service, to kill that window. We have, just so you can see here, end process. We can go out and end a process on a different machine. So I have a handy-dandy break that website. Oh, and in this demonstration, I'm not doing exactly what he's doing to remind myself. So the website is up and running. I'm going to break it right now and it show you that it's down, and it is down. And then there's even an alert in here. It's already there. And in a couple seconds, Opalis will pick that up and we'll run it through its paces. And hopefully, there it is. It picked it up. It's working on it right now. And there we go. So let's take a look at the website. And it's back up. So I'm going to switch back over to, right quick, the after video for what this guy did. And we'll go from there.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the help desk. They warned me you were coming this time, so you'll find that I'm attentively watching the operator console here. And they said you guys were interested in seeing the Opalis integration server and how the new install has sort of changed the way we're working here at the help desk. And I guess I'm here to help you see that. So you remember last time we were working through a web server unresponsive on our Southfield server, that pesky server 22. And I'm here to show you what that looks like in the current version. So see, the alerts are still coming in here to Operations Manager, but now instead of having to go and bother Charles and RDP to those sessions and delete probably just the lock files, hopefully, now I don't need to do any of that. I log into the operator console here, the Opalis operator console, and you see I can view a number of different workflows that are out there. You see a couple of different groups have been building these in the last week. I can't see into them. They've locked me out of these for some reason. I guess they don't trust me. But I can see into the help desk group here and see the work that we've been doing. And you guys are interested in the web server resets. Let me drop right in there. And here is what the workflow looks like. And you can see that Charles had some input in here in converting the work that was done before and moving that script over into this process. And it's pretty much the same thing we've been doing all along. Now we just pass the IP address in first, and it'll go ahead and create our incidents for us in the help desk, which is really nice. It goes through the check, deletes the lock files, and just the lock files, repairs the web service, and so on. So this is all based on Charles's logic, except this part here, the false positive, in the hopes that it's actually up and running. That was my input. Thank you very much. So what we see here is the logs in the past ones that have run, but if I wanted to run this right now and resolve the current issue that's out there, I just need to type in the address 168.0.pesky-22 and fire that off. And what we should see down here is that there's a request that's been, actually looks like it's already fired off. So before my refresh got there, the request was consumed by the action servers. And there it is. If we click in there, you can see that it's already, it's already into the repair stage. So it's certainly created that incident faster than I ever could. It verified that the web page was down. And next refresh, my gosh, it's completely done. Wow, that's impressive. I certainly couldn't have done it that quick. So at this stage, I go back to Operations Manager and close out that alert. But Charles was telling me that that's actually the next thing that they're going to do. They just wanted to make sure this was working first, and they're actually going to tie this directly into Operations Manager. It's going to take the alert straight out of there, pull out the bits that it needs, and run through this, and ultimately it's going to go back and close the alert out right away. So I won't even have to do that little bit right there. So I guess you know, I can see about automating other stuff here in the future. I wonder if we can do something about that empty refrigerator.
So what we saw there was the operator console, so that's what he would have access to. We wouldn't allow him to build workflows or anything like that, but executing them is fine. And in fact, what I showed you in the demonstration, we took the alert right out and we closed the alert, so there's no actual need for him to work on that issue anymore, so he won't fumble around and delete lock files and things like that. So or log files for that matter. So what I'm going to do is switch over to some slides to cover off on a couple things, and then we'll come back to a demonstration. And we will have enough time, I'm glad to say, that we'll give you a sneak peek of what's coming in Opalis 6.3 in November. I have some beta bits that I'll show you. So we did the after. So very quick, what I call marketecture view of the Opalis components. This is the Opalis integration server, and at its core, there's a SQL Server database. This is where everything's stored, the logic, the configuration, the credentials, everything is stored in there. That, you know, when you create a workflow or create configuration, everything's stored in the SQL Server. You have two UIs, Workflow Designer, which what I showed you during the short demonstration, and then the Operator Console, which is the web-based portal, which allows you to kick off workflows and check their status and things like that. This is an optional component because you can do everything from the Workflow Designer. Now that's all fine and dandy. We have a UI, we have a data store. What actually does the work? What actually picked up the logic from the database and executed it against those systems? In that case, it was just a couple different files that we deleted or executed, and that's the action servers. You see we have 4 here. By no means is that a magic number. To get everything working and running like we do, we have 1. Well, that's for demonstration purposes. If you're going to deploy this in production, you're going to want at least 2, because anything that fails here will come over and start on this one, and anything that is too much for this, like too many processes are running on that, it'll spill over. So we have failover and spillover built in. And the more you have, the more you can scale. So it scales out horizontally just like that. And of course, this becomes the automation platform. We have process catalogs that are available. I'll talk about those in a second. And of course, integration packs, which connect you, which I believe that's the next slide. Perfect segue. The integration packs that are currently available, these are specific integrations to third-party tools that you may or may not have. Now, the tools that we used in the demonstration in the video are foundation objects. Those are generic connections to any system that you might have. We have ones for Windows and non-Windows. But these here connect to specific tools. So your CA tools, your HP tools, your IBM tools, your BMC tools. And you can see up here in the left top corner, we have a bunch of Microsoft tools. And most of them have a little asterisk next to them. That are 2 asterisks. That means they're on the roadmap for 2010. Now, 2010 is fast closing, so I can actually more accurately state that what at previous public things, product group has said U.S. holidays. So what that means to me is probably November, Thanksgiving-ish U.S. time. So hopefully sometime in November. I know I'm being recorded, but that's what I would say. Don't hold me to the fire on that, but that's, I think, the target. And for that release, you'll not only get these 4 integration packs, Config Manager, Virtual Machine Manager, DPM, and Service Manager, but you're also going to get the ability for Opalis to install and successfully be supported on Windows 2008 R2 64-bit. So up to this point, it was only 2003. If you download it today, it's only 2003. Supported, but as of November, you'll have all those integration packs, all these integration packs, and support on 2008. And I've actually seen the pre-beta stuff, and it looks good so far. So we're going to go over just a value prop slide here. Why Opalis? Some key takeaways here. Well, it provides multi-vendor integration with no rip or replace or vendor lock-in. from that first or second slide. We don't care what products you have. Opalis will be happy to integrate to them, happy to orchestrate them, and happy to automate the processes you have using them. We have a bunch of pre-build activities and workflow processes to speed up time to value. That means, Opalis is a lump of clay. You saw me. There's a blank screen there. I added objects to it. But we don't want to just give you a blank screen. We want to give you some templates, some best practices. So those are currently available on Codeplex, as well as a reference on the System Center Opalis TechNet blog. We have the publish and subscribe data bus to share data between the tasks and initiate the task between the silos. That's that blue text you saw when I right-click subscribe publish data. That is access to the data bus, which is very powerful because you don't have to create variables and use XML and bring those variables back to life and things like that. It's just all built in for you. The configuration of the workflows is done without coding or scripting. I didn't put any code or script in there. I did use a script, and I certainly can even incorporate scripts into my workflows, one of my favorite things to do since I came from a database and coding background. But you absolutely do not need a programming or any kind of background. You just drag and drop objects and fill out the forms. And then finally, the workflows can be built to be intelligent with rule-based branching. And in this next demonstration, I will show you exactly what that means. Basically, any decision that you need to make based on the data flowing through the data bus can be made with those links. So if I need to send some alerts this way and some alerts that way, we could do that. Or if we need to do parallel execution, we could do that. So I'll show you that in just a second. In fact, we're to the demo right now. Alrighty, cool. So I'm going to hop down to my demo and monitor SCOM and triage. So this, some of the objects may look familiar. The delete lock files and restart web app, the check web page and retest. Essentially, that's what I built in that very brief demonstration, and even the capture SCOM alerts and things like that. But this time, what I've done is I've added a ticketing system. Now, but when we built this, and even currently, the Service Manager integration pack was not out yet. So we did two things. We built our own Service Desk app that you saw in the video, and it's right here. It's an Access front end, very sexy, I know, and a SQL back end. We did this for two reasons. One was the Service Manager wasn't available yet, and we didn't want to just hack something together for a demonstration. Two, it's because we wanted to show you could integrate to your homegrown applications. So you have the ability to extend what you already have. You don't have to rip out or replace what you have. And maybe if you're going to transition from homegrown to Service Manager or homegrown to something else, you can have both up and running at the same time. That's the two main reasons we chose to do that. Now, this essentially is the same workflow, except we added the ticketing into it, and we added some pop-ups. No big deal there. So what I'm going to show you is a similar demo to what I did before, where it's going to capture a SCOM alert. It's going to create a record, essentially an incident. It's going to go through the triage, the false positive check. If it's down, actually, it's going to remediate, retest, and then close out and close the alert and all that. Now, for some reason, there's a false positive. This is where the intelligence comes in. It'll branch up here instead of going down here. And that's the important point behind this demonstration. So let's go ahead. It is running. It's just waiting for an alert. Website is up. And once again, I have that, and active alerts closed, or there's none there. And once again, I have that handy-dandy break that website. Very similar. So it's down again. And there's a SCOM alert. Thank you. So there's alert there. And within a couple seconds, this will pick it up. And it'll happen so fast, and then we'll get a pop-up and whatnot. There we go. Okay. So it's already working on it, just like the video and just like the previous thing. And there we go. So it's been remediated. Incident was created, updated, and closed. And for the reference, incident was 144. So there's a couple things now. And this demonstration does a lot of things behind the scenes. Now I've got to show you the repercussions of those. For one thing, the most important thing, website's back up. So that's good. The other thing is it created, updated, and closed a ticket in the ticketing system. And it was ticket 144. So let's go take a look at that. There it is. I got to log in. That was supposed to be a joke. Okay. And as we can see here, Opalis, as opposed to that guy fumbling around trying to fill all this crap in, Opalis was able to do that automatically and even update the work log. And it's closed already, so that's good. And every time it does this, it's going to be consistent over and over again. So that's great for ITIL. It's great for reporting. If you're trying to do problem management on these tickets, you could actually get valid data that's consistent over and over again. The other thing it did was it closed out the SCOM alert. Here it is. And we've also synced it up with the ticket number automatically. So 144 there. So if you're doing reporting from SCOM or from your ticketing system, the data is going to be current and up to date because Opalis handled all that data marshaling and handled all that stuff automatically. You didn't have to touch it. Now, I want to show you the quote-unquote intelligence here. So if we look at the log history, you can see that it went right down the middle there. Right down the middle of all those things. That's great, but what if we wanted to show some branching? Let's do that. Well, I have let's go back to active alerts. Make sure the website, yep, still up. So I have a handy dandy create a false positive where the website does not go down, but an alert does show up. So as you can imagine from the workflow, well, it's already done, I guess, maybe. Oh, there it is. No, there we go. So this time we sent a pop-up saying it's a false positive. Incident was still created, updated, and closed. Now it's incident 145 as you would expect, and we could go check that out. So the website never went down, but the SCOM alert is gone. It's been updated with 145. And then for the incidents, if we refresh, we have 145 here. And this time, false positive, date timestamp from where my VM thinks it is. So essentially what we did here was one workflow is handling both kinds of issues, whether it's false positive or for real. And the reason we're creating a ticket every time is so we can track those false positives. We want to know if that website's going down and up by the time that SCOM alert comes around, so we can create a problem incident on that. And if we had the Service Manager integration pack, we would see those tickets coming in, and then we could also use the new Opalis objects to actually create a problem automatically once it hits a threshold, a number of similar tickets. So that's certainly something that I'll probably demonstrate at MMS once things are fully baked. So we have 15 minutes left, which is an excellent amount of time. I'm going to show you another workflow, because you're probably tired of seeing this one. So we have a reset service password workflow. And we have the monitor alert in there just because I needed something to start the workflow out. There's many ways to start workflows. You can have it come from a different system like SCOM or SCCM or something like that, monitoring that. Or you can initiate them manually. Or you can push from another system. So if you wanted in Service Manager to create a start off a workflow, you could, we have web services and CLI, so you certainly could do all that there. For this purpose, though, I'm just going to do a similar thing, monitor for an alert. This time it's a security threat, so we need to reset some passwords. I know it's contrived. But what we're going to do here is generate a new password using our random text generator object. We're going to reset the Active Directory password. Then we put a midway point in here for me to show that, hey, go look, the service is going to be broke if you try to restart it, because if you reset the password, the service is not going to work because this password's out of sync. So we'll do that. We'll test to see if it's broken. It should be. And then the Opalis policy will continue on and reset the service password to sync it with the Active Directory password automatically, restart the service, and then we're done. So this purple line here indicates that I'm putting a 30-second delay in there for my demonstration purposes. Obviously, if this was production, you would remove that, and everything would happen and keep everything in sync. The other good part of this is you could pump as many Active Directory accounts in there as you want. We can actually search on what services are affected, restart all of those, so we keep everything in sync. I'm actually in the process of making one of those for an internal Microsoft project. So I'll probably demo that once that's finished as well. So we're going to start this up. Make sure it's started there at the bottom. We'll open up the services console real quick. And the service we're using for this demonstration is the Opalis remoting service here, which is started currently. So let's go ahead, and we don't need the website anymore. Let's go ahead and kick off one of our handy batch files that screw things up. It's actually going to stop the remoting service. So we can see that that is stopped now. But it did also create an alert, a contrived security threat alert. You must reset this password. But this will pick it up in a second. We'll get a pop-up, and it'll ask me to go ahead and start, or try to restart the, there it is. So it should fail. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it fails. And it did fail. So that's because the service is out of sync with the password that's in Active Directory. So now we just wait, unfortunately, 30 seconds for the Opalis policy to continue. But when it continues, we're going to have, the alert will have been closed, we'll get a pop-up, and the service will be restarted. The reason we do this is to show automation happens behind the scenes. There's really no interaction. For demonstration purposes, we put pop-ups, and there we go. That's our last pop-up. And there's the password, so make sure you write that down. But the reason we have the password exposed is because you don't want to reset the account and not know what the password is. So you could enter this into a secure data store, secure file, or whatever you want, just to make sure you know what the password is that you're restarting. Obviously, you wouldn't send it to the screen. Now, if we just refresh here, it's started again, and if we go back into Operations Manager, the alert has been closed. So Opalis took all those actions automatically, and regardless of what objects we're using, whether they're the foundation objects, they're the integration pack objects like the alert objects up there, it doesn't matter. Opalis operates the same way all the time. You give it instruction, it does those instructions, and it moves on. And to that end, I want to, looks like I got 10 minutes, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the, if my machine wakes up here, hopefully. Believe it. Am I? Yeah, there it is. Oh, this is poetic, isn't it? Can't type my password in. Oh, another screen. All right, so this is just my another system that's actually back in Redmond, so it might be a little slow. But I do have, if you can see over here, the integration packs that are coming out later this year. So I have Config Man, Service Manager, Data Protection Manager, and Virtual Machine Manager. And Virtual Machine Manager is a behemoth with all these different tasks that you can do. So any of these tasks, just like we did before, you drag them onto the pane and configure them and then use them. So let's do one that I know should work, since this is beta and it is a demonstration, so there's always temptation. So let's use get collection member. So this is going to get the members of a specific collection in SCCM. I'm going to choose my connection to Config Man. And then it's going to dynamically go out and grab the collection names from Configuration Manager. So I haven't set up any special ones, so these are all the default ones. But I'm going to grab all systems, hit finish, and then why don't we send, no, I can't send a pop-up because this is not, it's not enabled. We could use the testing console, which you haven't seen yet. This testing console allows you to go step by step, object to object, so you could debug or look at the data as it's flowing through. So it's very handy, actually. And it's built in right to the client. So if we just, and you have step over functionality, so if there's multiple objects, I could go wait, next, next, next. This time I'm just going to run it. And it did successfully return, so we could take a look at that data. And you can see the ellipsis means that there's multiple lines of data. And we could see that these are the machines that I have that are registered in SCCM. So that integration pack just goes out, gets the information, and comes back. So you ask yourself, why would that be useful to you? Well, I don't know if they did the session here with SCCM and the Forefront integration where you you install the forefront in there, and it'll automatically dynamically create collections based on certain specific criteria in forefront. Well, Opalis can grab those connections or those collections and then do work on those specific collections, the dynamic ones that are created, or any of the ones that you have. So if you need to, make sure all the systems are up in a collection, you can ping them all or whatever you want to do, and then add that into the set of logic in your workflow. It's completely up to you. And of course, there are way more objects than just getting collection information. Just for SCCM, you can create an advertisement. You can deploy a software update. These are all tasks that are being initiated from Opalis based on something else that you decide and are taking place in SCCM. The same for Service Manager. So if you wanted to create a change ticket based on a template that you have, you can do that. If you want to create an incident based on a template you have, you can do that. So all of these integration packs have objects specific to the the Microsoft product that you might want to use. So you could, the Data Protection Manager and, of course, Virtual Machine Manager, which there's plenty of different options there. So let's see here. All right, just enough time. So I'm going to switch back to the slides now. I got a couple more to finish off with some very helpful information that if you're interested in Opalis. So if you're identifying opportunities, where should you look in your company to bring your data center to the data center of the future, whether you're doing cloud or doing whatever you want. There are webcasts on moving to the private cloud. One of my colleagues, Adam Hall, created a webcast on using Opalis to do P2V or moving to the cloud. So that's all out there, and I'll give you some links in a couple seconds. So how do you identify some opportunities? Anywhere you can align with ITIL or MOF best practice initiatives. So if you have ITIL or MOF initiatives, we can build, and you have processes, we can build workflows in Opalis to accommodate those. If you have a high number of manual processes that are undocumented, as you saw, the workflows sort of document themselves. Anything that's inconsistent, like that help desk guy trying to fumble around, I don't know what to do next. The Opalis workflow will always do the same thing every time. Anything that's error prone, just like the help desk guy, where he may have fat-fingered something or deleted the log files instead of the lock files, we will do it consistently every time, and it's reliable. And anything that's slow, where you have to wait for that Charles guy to respond to an IM, we can automatically seek into the systems he's using, get information, and then move on. The next section is processes that are complex and deal with lots of different other software offerings. So you can put as many software integration packs together as you want. If you wanted to make a workflow that touched every single System Center integration pack, you could certainly do that. If you wanted to mix and match, it doesn't matter. Every object is its own atomic action, and then those links are what bring those things together. So the things become less and less complex when you incorporate them into Opalis. And then finally, if maintenance of scripts is a burden, you could either recreate them in Opalis as Opalis workflows, or you can use those scripts if you've spent the time and money and you want to keep them. You could keep them in Opalis and have Opalis execute them. We have objects that will execute C# code, PowerShell, JScript, and VB.NET. So, and a myriad of any other things that Perl or anything you could think of. So, which verticals are using Opalis today? Well, every vertical, I would say. But personally, I've either sold or implemented to companies in these verticals. So we're hitting every possible avenue and being used by every possible avenue because everyone could benefit from automation. And this global solution providers, that's what we used to call at Opalis, MSPs like the Accentures, CSC, and things like that. So Opalis resource is very important, well, to me anyway. Of course, there's the System Center Home Opalis, which these slides will be available to you. That is where you can download and install Opalis today. Oh, interesting. That's where you can download an Opalis today. So you can get a 180-day trial, or you can get I don't think that's me. Or you can get the full version. You may already own this. If you own SMSE or SMSD, you may already own Opalis. Either way, you can go to this website, and you'll be able to read about it and get information. And I urge you, download it, install it. All you need currently is a 2003 machine, but you can certainly get that up and running on a VM. The pathways, if you question about the actual the acquisition, you go there. My favorite, because I built it or use it, Blog to Joy. That's my personal blog on TechNet that has videos on how to install it from download to finish, how to install every component. I recently added one yesterday that was how to use the database object. So I add videos on a weekly basis mostly on how to use Opalis in some way, shape, or form. In fact, as soon as I have some time, I'm going to create videos on how to use the new integration pack, so you'll be ready to hit the ground running when they come out. And for those of you who don't want to install it and just want to play around with it, there's a TechNet webcast and virtual lab. So I also have a link to that on my blog. So there are lots of resources. I've tried to eliminate as many excuses on why not to install it, because I've given you everything on my blog there. One thing that Adam wanted me to pitch was this Opalis Community Evaluation Program. The information's in the links there. There's also a lot of information in that Word file that's embedded in the PowerPoint. We would like you to apply by September 10th. There's an application. All you need is a Pathways or a Connect account, a live account. And this can get you started in a community of people who are building workflows towards a specific end. So it'll give you that community feel around the product. So it's certainly available and open to everybody. Just please apply by September 10th. Here's some sessions that already happened. This is Wednesday. But these are the things that I thought might be related to Opalis. And then, of course, that's it. Please fill out your evaluations. You do have a chance to win an Xbox based on your evaluation. And I appreciate you getting up early this morning and paying attention to my presentation. Thank you.